A very chilly air mass is heading toward the upper Midwest and the Northeast for early next week, very reminiscent of what occurred in early January when we were calling it the polar vortex. I'm AccuWeather.com meteorologist Bernie Rayno. It is a similar pattern, but it's a little different. Let's start with where the system is right now that is eventually going to be bringing the chilly air, and you'll notice right off the bat that it's not in the poles, is it? No, it's across northern parts of Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So it is not originating from the poles. So that by itself would tell you that no, this is not a polar vortex. But it's not that simple, because I want to draw your attention to these clouds that are in the poles. That's right, up in northern parts of the Northwest Territory. That is energy that's going to be dropping to the south and east over the next couple of days. In fact, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you one of the tools that meteorologists use. It's called the 500 millibars, what you would know as the jet stream. And looking at the jet stream, we can see all of the energy in the middle and upper part of the atmosphere that causes the stream flow across North America. And if the wind is coming out of the north, that's where you get the cold. If it's coming from the southwest, that's where you get the warm. So here's what we have, and these black lines are the actual jet streams. You'll notice a couple of things here. Number one, here is the upper low across northern Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and this is the piece of energy that is going to be dropping southward, and that's the key piece, because what's going to happen is that is, number one, it's from the poles. Number two, it's going to be dropping into this upper low, and it's going to do a couple of things. Number one, it's going to strengthen it, and number two, and more importantly, it's going to take this upper low and allow it to come southward and bring all the chilly air into the upper Midwest. So by strict definition, the polar vortex is an upper low that originates in the polar regions and comes south. This didn't originate in the poles. However, there is a piece of energy dropping into it that, while it did maybe start across the northern parts of the Pacific, it is certainly coming from the poles, and that's really the key piece. So while the answer may be no to polar vortex, boy, the impacts are going to be quite impressive early next week. Temperatures are going to be averaging 20 to 25 degrees below zero, below normal, from Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, and some of that cold air heads to the east, and out ahead of it, we're going to get rounds of showers and thunderstorms. Certainly a pretty extreme weather week upcoming. For AccuWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Bernie Rayno.